Here's a stat nobody likes to admit. 9 out of 10 people doing calisthenics will never build serious muscle. Not because calisthenics doesn't work, nope, but because they do it completely wrong. Think about it. Most people start with push-ups, pull-ups, maybe some dips. They grind away for months. Then one day they look in the mirror and realize nothing's changed. Same arms, same chest, same stubborn dad bod deluxe. And what do they say? See bro, calisthenics doesn't build size. It's just for endurance. Wrong. Calisthenics can absolutely build a physique that turns heads at the beach. The problem isn't the method, it's the execution. It's like buying a treadmill and using it as a coat rack. Technically fitness equipment, but practically useless. Or like ordering a salad, drenching it in ranch, and calling it healthy. You're missing the point. Here's the truth. If you've been cranking out push-ups for months, and you still look exactly the same, you're probably part of that 90%. And don't worry, you're not alone. I've been there too. Sweating buckets, chasing pump after pump, and wondering why my body wasn't changing. Calisthenics without progression is like trying to drain a swimming pool with a teaspoon. You're putting in effort, but you'll be there for the next 30 years. And yet people convince themselves it's working. That's why the dad bod has become peak evolution. You just keep training wrong until you finally accept your fate. But if you're watching this, you're not here to settle. You want to build actual muscle. You want to be in the 10% who do it right. So here's the deal. In this video, I'll break down the 3 biggest mistakes that stop people from building muscle with calisthenics and how you can avoid them. Next, I'll reveal the #1 mistake that keeps most people stuck in forever beginner mode. Spoiler, it's not about the exercise, it's about how you do it. Here's the harsh truth. If you're still repping the same push-ups you did in middle school PE, you're not building muscle, you're just building boredom. Sure, you'll burn a few calories, maybe tone up a little, but actual muscle growth? Forget it. The biggest mistake, mistake 1, is skipping progressive overload. People think, well, if I just do more push-ups, I'll get more gains. But the body isn't that simple. Your muscles are smart. They adapt quicker than your Wi-Fi drops during a Zoom call. Do the same movement at the same difficulty, and eventually your body goes, cool, we've got this handled. No need to grow bigger. That's why you see people cranking out 50 push-ups a day for years, and still looking like they just rolled out of a before photo. It's like climbing the same tiny sand dune every morning and calling it mountain training. You feel like you're working hard, but the mountain never shows up. The fix? Progression. Your muscles need new challenges. Instead of endlessly repping basic push-ups, you've got to level up archer push-ups, pseudo-planche push-ups, weighted dips, pistol squats. Think of it like Netflix. If you watch the same show on repeat, you're bored out of your mind. But drop a new season or a brand new series and suddenly you're hooked again. Muscles work the same way they crave new content. Here's the kicker. Progression doesn't mean you need a gym full of equipment. Just tweak angles, add pauses, slow down the eccentric, or slap a backpack on for resistance. That's enough to trick your body into saying, uh-oh, this is harder, we better grow. So if you've been stuck in forever beginner mode, that's why. It's not that calisthenics doesn't build muscle, it's that you've been giving your body the same stale stimulus since freshman year. But don't pat yourself on the back just yet. Even if you fix progression, there's another hidden killer. Your volume and intensity are probably all over the place. Next, I'll show you why that's the crash site for most calisthenics trainees. Alright, let's be blunt. Most calisthenics routines people follow, they're either do 100 push-ups every day, or some random Instagram circuit that looks cool but does absolutely nothing. Yeah, it looks impressive on camera, handstand, spin, burpee flip combo, but if your goal is muscle growth, that's basically fitness cosplay. Mistake 2 is poor programming. And trust me, this is where most people faceplant. Either they do way too much volume, hundreds of sloppy reps that turn into cardio disguised as strength training, or they do way too little intensity, never pushing their muscles to actually adapt. Both roads lead to the same destination, no gains. Here's the thing, if you're not tracking your sets, your rest times, or your progressions, you're basically throwing spaghetti at the wall and praying it sticks. And spoiler, most of it doesn't. One week you're doing push-ups, next week some beach body circuit you found on TikTok, and then you wonder why your chest still looks like it belongs to a 12-year-old. And don't even get me started on balance. Most calisthenics people are push addicts. Push-ups, dips, more push-ups. Meanwhile, their pulling strength is non-existent, and their legs, let's just say they disappear behind a pair of shorts. Without balance between pushing, pulling, and legs, you don't just look uneven, you are uneven. Weak spots turn into injuries real quick. Here's a brutal analogy. Doing volume without intensity is like shouting louder in a traffic jam. You're still stuck. No matter how many times you scream, you're not moving forward. Same with your training, endless junk reps won't drive adaptation. It's not about how much you do, it's about how hard the right reps hit. So yeah, calisthenics can build an incredible physique, but not if your programming is basically whatever your social media feed fed you today. If you're serious about growth, you need structured progressions, tracked sets, proper rest, and a balance of movement patterns. Otherwise, congrats, you're just cosplaying fitness with no results. But here's the real kicker. Even if your progression is dialed in and your program looks like a masterpiece, there's still a third failure point, and it's the one everyone loves to ignore: nutrition and recovery. Next, I'll show you why you can train like a beast and still look like a twig if you screw this part up. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't out-train a terrible diet and bad sleep. Not even with 1,000 pull-ups. If you think hammering push-ups all day makes up for eating like a toddler on a sugar rush, you're in for a rude awakening. Mistake 3 is the sneakiest one: ignoring diet and recovery. A lot of people think calisthenics is just body weight, so food doesn't matter. Wrong. Your muscles don't know the difference between lifting a dumbbell and lifting yourself. They just know stress and fuel. And if you don't give them enough fuel, nothing grows. Building muscle without eating properly is like trying to build a house with no bricks. You can lay the foundation, but good luck putting up walls. If you want to grow, you need a calorie surplus. Yes, eat more than you burn, and enough protein to actually repair muscle fibers. Otherwise, all those reps are just calories burned, not muscle built. And let's talk recovery. Training breaks your muscles down. Growth happens when you rest. But most people treat sleep like a suggestion instead of a requirement. If you're running on 4 hours of sleep, guzzling caffeine, and wondering why your pull-ups haven't improved, that's like trying to charge your phone with a dead charger. No juice, no performance. Overtraining is the cherry on top of this disaster sundae. Doing endless sessions with no rest days doesn't make you hardcore, it makes you broken. Stalled gains, nagging injuries, burnout. Calisthenics is supposed to make you feel strong and free, not like your joints are filing for early retirement. So let's recap this. Killer food, sleep, and recovery aren't optional. They're the foundation. Ignore them and you'll stay skinny fat forever, no matter how many flashy moves you grind out. Now you know the top 3 reasons why 90% of people fail: no progression, poor programming, and zero attention to diet and recovery. But here's the real question. How do you make sure you're in the winning 10%? That's what we'll break down in the conclusion. And trust me, this is where everything finally clicks. So let's wrap this up. Calisthenics isn't the problem. The problem is how people approach it. We've broken down the 3 big mistakes that keep 90% of people stuck in forever beginner mode. Mistake number 1, no progression. You're doing the same easy push-ups from school, expecting superhero gains. Mistake number 2, poor programming. You're either drowning in junk reps or following random Instagram circuits that make you sweaty but don't build muscle. And mistake number 3, ignoring diet and recovery. Trying to grow without food or sleep is like trying to drive on an empty tank. Not happening. Here's the good news. Fix those 3, and suddenly calisthenics becomes a muscle-building powerhouse. You don't need a fancy gym membership or magic supplements. You just need smart progression, structured training, and a body that's fueled and rested. That's it. And congrats, you're no longer in the Push-Up for Life Club. You've officially been promoted to the muscle-building calisthenics gang. Mom's proud. Your future self is proud. And let's be honest, your t-shirts are about to fit way better. Think of your fitness journey like a video game. Most players never leave level 1 because they don't learn the mechanics. But you've just unlocked the cheat codes. Progression is like draining a pool slow, steady, and then one day you look around and realize you're standing at the deep end, shredded, wondering why you ever doubted yourself. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What mistake have you been guilty of? Be honest, we've all been there. And if this video saved you from another 6 months of wasted push-ups, hit subscribe, drop a like, and check the description. I've left some sample routines and nutrition tips that'll keep you out of the 90% and firmly in the winning 10. And if you think dips and pull-ups are impressive, wait until you see what happens when we combine calisthenics strength with weighted progressions. That's where true superhero muscle gets built. Next video, I'll show you exactly how.